Okay, my friends, this might be this is one of the, believe it or not, the toughest, one of the toughest subjects that I have ever seen, and I've got to be careful. And to show you how tough it is, I'm not saying anything, but I'm using the word white, and you cannot believe the limitations, even on ChatGPT, of how they're saying, "Wait a minute, hold it. This can't be good. There's something bad about using white." But here is the story, and this is what you have to understand. And this is what's critical. From white sororities to Nick Fuentes to Sydney Sweeney to everything else, there is this movement. There is this reacquaintance of an unabashed reemergence of people who want to say, we would like for you to listen to us and to listen to our particular way of thinking, our frame of reference, without us being told that we are racist per se, where people are saying we are European and we have something to say. And all of a sudden, people are going nuts over this. Nick Fuentes is blowing the lid. I don't know why. I'm also telling you something, and I want you to listen to me. I'm hearing things, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm hearing things that will blow your mind in terms of what they are going to say about him. Get ready. That's all I'm saying. Get ready. Get ready. I'm wait till you hear it. I don't even want to say it because if it doesn't come to fruition, but and the dark web, the intellectual dark web, as Weinstein says, and others, but believe me when I'm telling you something. This is, wait until you see what is going to happen. And it's not the idea that of who he is, but the fact that the subject matter. We are seeing a concomitant move also on a group of people who, for the first time, are saying we are standing up against what has been an almost a stranglehold, for lack of a better word, involving the APAC and the Israel lobby. It was considered verboten to even so much as suggest at any level that the Israeli government or the military or foreign policy might be excessive. That's changed. Don't focus on the people as you tend to, not you, but whether it's Candace Owens or whether it's Tucker. Believe me, this guy came out and now he is going after Candace, who is such a phony. It's not even funny. Tucker, who has been a phony, said some good things. He's a poser from forever. Doesn't mean that you say everything is wrong or everything that he says is wrong, but they told you it was gone forever. For you to even use the term white America, I've never even considered. I I don't even think of myself as being into it. It's this group that was never talked about. White America was a relic of history. And now we're seeing Christian white sororities, not these wild. Remember, they went berserk after Sydney Sweeney. Berserk. Because who was this? There was this, what they're saying was a young, blonde, blue eyed, I guess, attractive, fit, white girl who was seeking all this attention. And the twerking community went nuts. They went crazy. And now you're seeing this. Megan Kelly and others are talking about this reemergence of the old line classic, Tri Delta, DGs, Delta Gamma, and all of that. Chi Omega. I'm trying to think of my days of the fraternity. There were these sororities. And by the way, we had very, very, very proud black fraternities, male, that were I mean, almost like military, and there was a separation, and nobody even thought anything about Omega Psi Phi, aka, et cetera, et cetera. But you're seeing right now unapologetic pride in their heritage, in who they are, whether it's the South, and it's not that they are white to the exclusion, but the same way that Black and Latino or people of color can show an immense pride, you're seeing this unmitigated audacity. And this, do you see how the vectors are lining into? Fuentes is doing it, and they're going to come after him. They're going to go after. They're going to tell you things about his own sexuality, his gender. I don't even want to get into it. If 10% of what I'm hearing is true, they are going to unleash. He cannot get ahead. And everybody, he is a threat against everybody. And I have a tendency to always like somebody who's a threat against everybody. That's my kind of person. Remember, I'm not endorsing everybody. I don't endorse everybody. I don't even endorse me 100% of the time. Well, I shouldn't say that. Now, they're dusting off the old artifacts that used to have no place in New America. That sororities with Greek letters and Greek. Have you seen these groups, these dance groups, are very sophisticated and in shape and choreographed, and dare I say, white, like the old white. I'm even put it this way. I'm finding myself almost hesitating, even using the word white, because I've been told for the longest time this is just it means it's tantamount to racist. Let me tell you something. This is you're seeing this reemergence, front porches, and it's in line with the Stars and Stripes America. This movement against. Did you see this maroon? Did you see the chief of police of Washington didn't know what chain of command meant? We DEI. Remember what I've always told you, that the pendulum is going to come back like a wrecking ball. Sunday worship, small town formats, Mayberry, America, small town, country music, NASCAR. That's right. White people do not have to run without having folks coming out of everywhere claiming this. It was this unbridled lunacy. People would come out of the woodwork claiming that. Remember, Out of Africa, there was a book. Everything was African, and the Africa did everything first. Europe did nothing after the critical race theory and 1619 project. This is huge. Polaroids from another era, replaced by a kind of a plastic, globalized, sanitized monoculture where faith was mocked, pride is pathologized, and tradition is right now being rewritten in the language of corporate approved activism. It's done. And little things, little movements, little things. Remember when years ago there was Brian Setzer, whatever it was, the Stray Cats, and there was that kind of the jive, whatever that swing type of music. And then later on, before it was Bruno Mars is coming back. Sometimes there are movements and you see it. But here's the red pill moment that they didn't plan for. It's back. There is an unapologetic white Christian America that doesn't even refer to itself as white. Other people do. And they're saying, we want to speak again. They are talking about this. They are proud of what there is. In the South, to be, remember, the South, what was that movie? What was that movie where the woman made the pie? Remember that? What was that called? The Help? Remember that one? Was that called The Help, honey? By the way, Mrs. L just got in from DC. Wait till you tell her. Check in Lynn's Warrior. She's got stuff to tell you. Oh my God. Wait to hear about this. She has been on a whirlwind tour, Virginia, everywhere. Lynn's Warriors on the march. Anyway, we're talking about this not in the polished halls of establishment politics, but in the grassroots sororities. I was a member of a fraternity. There was a fraternity. It was a Southern tradition Had nothing to do with black. Never. It was just a part of American culture. Like I said, there was black fraternities as well. I was SAE, Sigma Alpha Epsilon. Me, of course, William McKinley, Sam Elliott, David Spade, Lloyd Bridges, Jeff Bridges, whole bunch of us. Robert Young. It was in a post. It was out of post Civil War. It was just the same way the Hells Angels came out of World War II. It was brotherhood. Fraternity had nothing to do with racism. But we've been told for the longest time you cannot have this. Sorority houses are back. Church pews are packed. Steeples, tradition, rallies, flags, Southern football. That's right. I don't want to break. Remember, you were told stars. I'm not even going to describe this. But the Southern flag, the stars and bars, that meant the South, Dixie, Sweet Home Alabama. It had nothing to do with it. But you were told. And people are saying, how dare you tell me what my heritage is? Remember the great line by Don Williams about, I remember a song in the South about Hank in Tennessee. The Williams boys mean a lot to me. Even in the entertainment headlines, this other aspect thought they controlled it. Sydney Sweeney, I never got it. I never saw it coming. I never saw anything about her that was that extraordinary, except that it hit a nerve. Whether she intended to or not, became a lightning rod. When pictures of her family's unapologetic, old school, American gathering and the look, it drove people nuts. And then you would see these, I don't know what it was, and you couldn't even say anything. These huge, all of a sudden people would come forward twerking and saying this is racist, and you're not supposed to say anything. And there is a movement. If you're not watching social media, you're not paying attention. Remember when even Beyonce came forward with her attempt at Southern, whatever it was. Remember when she was also wearing, doing the country music? She's also lightening herself. Have you noticed how people's skin color have changed? You're not supposed to say anything. If you're not paying attention to what's happening, if you're not acknowledging this, if you're missing the point, if you think this is some kind of trivial, like, oh, it doesn't matter, you're not, you're dropping the ball. People are sick and tired of DEI, CRT, 1619 program. To see these morons, these DEI losers who would have never, ever been allowed near a chief of police office, ever, and who were there because either they're gay or they're black or combinations thereof, and that the first black, okay, fine. And she didn't know what chain of command meant? Dear God. Moronic, Jasmine Crockett, Maxine Waters, go down the list. The most horrible things people said. Horrible. And you had to just take it. It's over with. It's over. And you know who also was coming out gangbusters? Marjorie Taylor Greene. These new faces, cowboy hats, flags, they're breaking the internet. They're sending the pearl clutchers into meltdown. They don't know what to do. And this is organic. They screamed, they smeared, they threw every label in the book at you because what they fear and feared the most is not extremism. That's not the problem. It's normal people refusing to apologize for who they are. And while Hollywood PR teams scrambled out, in the real world, a new generation looked at those photos from the past, from a time gone by, and said, wait a minute, why should we hide? Why should we shrink back? Why should we live like our heritage like our tradition is a dirty secret. I live in New York City, very proud of it. I can take you to Russian parts. We can go to little Odessa and Brighton Beach. I can take you to the Greek areas, Brazilian areas, Peruvian, Indian, Italian, proud people. Every week we've got the Dominican parade, the Puerto Rican parade, the Israeli parade, the Italian Columbus Day, Puerto Rico. People, we celebrate. We celebrate heterogeneity. What's wrong with that? That's the same current that's flowing through the rise of figures like Nick Fuentes. And let me tell you something. I don't want to say it because it may not be true, but boy, this guy's gonna be the biggest freak. Wait till you see what they've got coming. They're not gonna take, because who is it? Look at the one you're gonna watch is Candace Owens. Oh man. And look at what's happening. You got these Milo characters. You see, they're the cool kids. And Fuentes never asked for permission. Excuse me, Charlie. You didn't check with Charlie Kirk. You didn't check with Candace. We're the young titans. Oh, nonsense. This guy, whether you like him or not, he's 26 years old, unfiltered. He's brilliant. And he says some stupid things. And what? And what? What? Is that supposed, if that disqualified you, you would hear crickets. And he's saying the kind of things your grandparents whispered over the kitchen table, but that no one in cable news will touch. You've been told for the longest time that you've got a reason to hide. You don't have to agree with every word out of his mouth to understand the significance of this. It's very simple. There's an entire political generation that is happening right now, rejecting the guilt trip, rejecting the propaganda, rejecting the idea that to be white and to be Christian and to be rooted in some kind of European American tradition is something to be ashamed of. I don't know what white European, my ethnicity, I don't even know what that is. I never even thought about it, but I was made to think about it. And for the longest time, the white, you never even said white because white was tantamount to the word of being racist. But black is okay, people of color, every kind of gay, LGBTQIA2 spirit, no problem. But white, nowhere. And straight, white, straight, traditional, And in the background of all this, there's Trump, the figure who cracked the door open in 2016 and let all these conversations come flooding into the mainstream. They tried to lock the door. They tried to lock that door again after January 6th, trying to slam it shut with indictments and censorship. But the thing about movements rooted in identity and identitarian nonsense and faith is that they don't vanish. They pick up steam and momentum. And they go underground. They regroup. And when they resurface, they come back sharper and louder and less willing to play nice. And it's huge because America has had it. We're tired of having Scott Jennings ask for permission. He's kicking their ass on CNN because this guy named Scott Jennings is taking these idiots with the phony wigs and this two-bit attitude, and he's destroying them. Because for the longest time, they didn't say, let's get the best black voices out there. And there were so many. They said, no, let's just do a check mark. But quotas. And then you realize, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Jasmine Crockett? Are you kidding? Remember, oh God, Tiffany Henyard? How she wasn't indicted? That's another one. And all this is exactly what's happening right now with the white Christian sororities. We're seeing this. Megyn Kelly, where is this? And there's nothing. And Mrs. L will tell you, I'm telling you, the look she's gotten. A white, blonde, blue-eyed woman. Oh, dear God. You can't see it. Forget men. White women, women who dared. Remember, Sydney Sweeney. I don't understand what the big deal is. It was a stupid ad. It doesn't matter. Remember in the old days when I was in high school, everybody had that Farrah Fawcett photo. Why? Because you just had it, just like you had the Abbey Road photo. People went berserk. I don't know why. kind of a performative reaction. But nobody said, here's this woman with white hair. She had hair that nobody had. She was white. Nobody even thought about it. Today, to be verboten. For years, they've been pressured to water down their traditions, swap their values for diversity statements, hang the right flags during the right months, and parrot the mantras of whatever social justice cause is trending. But you can only bend so far before you snap. Across the South, the Midwest, even in deep blue college towns, you're seeing sororities quietly, and now not so quietly, reclaiming their original identity, sisterhood, rooted in faith, family, heritage, and pride. That had nothing to do with shutting anybody down. These are young women who aren't afraid to post Bible verses on Instagram, who wear crosses without irony, who don't roll their eyes at patriotic songs, who see nothing wrong with saying that white America has a culture worth protecting, not excluding anybody, but don't get rid of it. You've been told this is so. Believe me, you right now as I speak to you, you're thinking, "Oh my God, how can he say this? What am I saying? Saying nothing." That's how you've been taught. That's the revival the mainstream fears the most. Not angry mobs in the streets, but smiling, well-dressed, articulate, well-educated young women and men standing arm in arm on their front lawns, their porches, saying, "This is who we are, and we're not apologizing. There's nothing wrong with who we are." And make no mistake, this is a cultural and a political earthquake in the making. Why? Because recently, and this sorority thing was just the other day, because these groups aren't just social clubs, they're networking powerhouses. Today's social groups and sorority president is tomorrow's business leader, attorney, judge, journalist, or politician. And the values and alliances forged in those houses ripple outward into every sector of society. If those values are rooted in an unapologetic faith, heritage, and national pride, that's a direct threat to the ideological monopoly that the left has somehow worked decades to build in academia and media. This is why every time a story breaks, like Sydney Sweeney's family photos, or whatever it is, the reaction is so hysterical. They're not just mad about the event, they're terrified about the signal that it sends, that the shame campaign is losing its grip. Don't underestimate this, as George Bush said. And this revival, this movement, this trend isn't happening in isolation. It's part of a larger reemergence of, and you can say it, white America's cultural confidence. You see it in country music charting again with patriotic anthems that refuse to bow to woke filters. You see it in the swelling crowds at Trump rallies. You saw this before, even in hostile territory. You see it in young men and women openly questioning the anti-white, anti-American, anti-traditional narratives pushed in schools on TikTok and on Netflix. You see it in the memes and the podcasts and the live streams, a whole underground culture that isn't underground anymore. And this is why this Nick Fuentes, who's been there, and all of a sudden they just pop through. Why he and others are trending despite being banned from half the internet. This is why Trump's poll numbers climb every time. And Trump's got to get back to this. Back to the basics of love, as Lukenbach, Texas. Every time they try to bury him, this is why every new outrage about someone showing pride or whatever has got to be talked about. Let me tell you something right now. This is, we are so tired of being red-pilled. Or actually, we are enjoying, what am I saying? Now, the truth is, white Christian pride or regular pride was never really gone. It was just pushed into the shadows. And what we're witnessing now is that shadow, that world is kind of melting away. Sororities and fraternities and tradition, these rallies in American and going to church and learning manners. And you're going to see country clubs and all this stuff like Father Knows Best. These viral cultural moments. They're the tip of the spear. And here's the kicker. It's not fueled by hate, no matter how much the media screeches otherwise, is fueled by love. Love of God, love of family, love of tradition, love of community, love of a heritage that millions refuse to watch be erased or rewritten. And when you strip away the labels and the hit pieces and all this other nonsense, what you have right now is a movement saying we belong here. We've always belonged here. And we're doing no more pretending. Let me tell you something. The establishment can fight that with the tools they're used to. They can't guilt it away because the guilt no longer works. They can't censor it away because it's decentralized and it's woven into everyday life. They can't scare it away because once you've been called every name in the book, you have, the words lose their sting, they lose their ammunition, and they certainly can't legislate it away because it's not an organization. It's not. It's really an awakening. That's what terrifies them. And they will do everything in their pocket, my friends, to make this sound like some kind of weird traditional. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of conspiracy, something, because they're not able to just let this go. Nobody has gone away. There's a group of people, and you might be one, who is sick and tired of having to always apologize, always having to explain, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't mind us. I'm sorry. I was raised, and I didn't even realize it because I never even thought anything of it. I was raised in Florida, and it's as south as you can get. And I never understood racism until I came to the Northeast. That's what I saw it. Never. We had country music. We had yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. We even had the same food. Soul food was the same. Johnny Jolene says, honey sweet, but there's nothing next to baby's treat. And if you pardon me, I like to say, Sydney Sweeney will be okay forever in blue jeans. Babe. Okay. Listen, if she's the tripwire, okay, fine. There's nothing that's great about her. Listen, she's a Bezos corp. She's contrived, she's manufactured. I understand that. I get it. But our tradition, we were hand in hand. Southern food, Southern tradition, white, black, soul food, country, sweet tea and fried chicken and all that stuff. That is Southern. Church bells on Sunday. I was a retired Catholic, but white and black, the same. It was a yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Oh my God. You have no, I am telling you, I never, this level of insanity. You can call it black fatigue or whatever. People who are coming out of the woodwork and are saturating social media, people going crazy at Chipotle's and fights and anger and it's done. It's finished. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen. Don't agree with this. Don't figure you've got to ask whether you agree with it. Gee, is this something that I like? You have nothing to say about it. I have nothing to say about it. This is what's happening. It is what's happening right now, and it is bigger than anything you've ever seen. And I'm telling you right now, pay attention and look what's happening. And when you saw Bowser, I can't call her Bowser, Bowser, and the DC. Oh my God, it was like a DEI parade, and you realize, oh my God, this is incompetent, and it just glaring. Whereas before you were saying, well, what are you going to do? This woman, this Bowser, all she cared about was making sure in DC, across from Lafayette Park, across from the Hay Adams. What's the name of that St. John's, that church, that beautiful, is it St. John's or? Anyway, they had the BLM, big yellow. That's all they cared about. And you had to sit there and just shut up and keep your mouth shut. Well, guess what? Nobody's keeping their mouth shut anymore. I'm telling you, focus, watch what's happening. This is going to change. And the best part is they're not going to catch on. They're going to say, we're right. We have had unfettered since 2015 for 10 years, and also through COVID and Kamala and Biden, they ran the show. They're not paying attention. Well, baby, they better pay attention right now. It's a new trend. Tradition, America, flags, family, sororities, Sydney Sweeney, not white exclusion, but reincorporation into this wonderful heterogeneous mosaic that used to be America. All right, my friends, I'm going to continue this. Catch me on WABC at 1 a.m. I wanted to tell you this. This is enormous, enormous. You've got to look at the social constructs of this. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. And thank you, Mr. Delane. We'll see you later. Don't forget, my friends, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.